Hey, what's up, everybody?
Hey!
Hello?
Who do we have with us right now?
Who wants to go first?
I think it should be ladies first.
Sure.
Aw. Okay. My name's Carine Goldsmith. I am currently in the Child and Youth Worker program, and that is all I have to say.
There's nothing else that's exciting about you?
I'm very short.
This is true. I've seen her in real life.
I wish I could say the same, but unfortunately I haven't met her person to person yet, so...
We tried, but then she ran away. Anyways,
Yes.
That's a different story.
The movie was very exciting, okay?
Alright, what about you, Matt?
Okay. Well, I guess I'll go next. I'm Matthew Turcotte, and by day I sell you electronics. Mostly the movies, the music, the ink cartridges, pretty much everything that has a plug, I sell. And by night, I do a little bit of writing, actually a lot of writing. I do a blog called A Pop Culture Addict's Guide to Life, which you can access through Google just by typing in what I just said, A Pop Culture Addict's Guide to Life. And at some point, I'd like to make writing a full-time career, but as of right now, I kind of have to do the retail thing to pay the bills. So all in all, it's working out just fine.
Yeah.
A little bit of self-promotion in there. I like it.
I try.
So anyways, my name is Joshua Feltmate, and I'm also in the Child and Youth Worker program with Carine. And by day, I also sell electronics with Matthew. And
For now.
yeah, I'm currently in the midst of moving to the dairy department, actually, at the local retail store. But for now, I sell electronics. Today is my last day, actually, which I'm kind of excited about, kind of not, but that's a different story. So, what do you guys prefer to be called? Anything in the world, what do you prefer?
I don't know.
That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
If we could call
whatever
you...
you like.
Challenge accepted. Okay. What about you, Carine?
Same. I don't know.
You can't both be called anything you like.
Oh, I don't know, surprise me.
Okay, we'll call her Surprise You. Alright.
And we'll call you anything you like.
What about
Okay.
you, Josh?
Well, my name is Josh, so I'd prefer that you call me Josh.
Oh, I see.
Okay, Josh.
I know it's fun.
You can't see me right now, but I'm doing quotation marks every time we say Josh.
Josh.
Okay. So, why are we doing this?
To be cool to our viewers, hello.
I think we're doing it to try and motivate people into following what they want to do, whatever that may be.
I second that motion.
Whether it be changing who they are to become a better person, whether we try to give them advice on how to handle situations, whether we just want to see them try to go walking in weather like this, because for the viewers at home who can't see outside, we're experiencing winter still.
Yeah, and just to let you know, this is Sunday, March 30th.
And it's winter.
Yeah.
Apparently Canada winters are a little bit longer lasting than winters anywhere else.
Literally anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Except maybe Antarctica.
Yeah, well, that's a different story. That's like...
Yes.
They have different seasons, but it's all winter.
Yes.
So, yeah. So I would agree with that. We are called Motive2Change, and we're going to do a different weekly topic, in amongst just random talking and stuff like that. But we really want to motivate the audience to follow their dreams, stand up for yourself, stand up for others even, and just kind of gain...
You're not alone.
Yeah, you're definitely not alone.
No.
But we want you to know that we're always here for you, at least the three of us anyway. And you can contact us at any time. All of our information will be in the description, all the stuff that we want to share anyway. And contact us at any time, and we'll get back to you with a solution or maybe some advice or even just a talk. That's fine.
Yeah, just leave us comments on our YouTube page. That'll be a good start right there.
Yeah, they'll be in the description.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the reasoning why we're doing this talk show right now. But why do we choose YouTube as an audience, guys?
Because a lot of people use YouTube, and I say a lot of people.
Yes, it's become one of the most popular platforms to share information, to share funny videos, to share cat videos. Corinne,
Oh, yeah.
Corinne, you love cats.
Unfortunately, I don't have a cat to make a video with, but I imagine...
This could happen in the future, though, if you'd like.
It's very well good.
We can get you a cat, Matt.
You could become the new SPCA.
Oh my god, that'd be awesome.
That could be a full-time job on its own. Only you wouldn't make money.
Either that, or we could become like the crazy cat lady on The Simpsons. Rah, 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 rah.
I think I'm there.
Yeah, I think Corinne is there, actually. She makes that sound on a daily basis.
Yeah, but you're not actually the one throwing the cats at people, so it's like...
I've seen her do it.
Oh, I have never thrown my cat, sir.
Great, we just went from the SPCA to throwing cats at people. That's just...
Yeah.
Okay, so we do have a few topics lined up for the future shows, but we kind of want to ask our viewers, what do you want to hear from us? What do you want us to talk about? Do you want to email stuff in? Do you want to comment stuff in and we'll talk about it? Or do you want us to just go off a whim, just talk about whatever we feel like? It's kind of up to you guys because the show is for you guys.
And
so
we can talk about anything.
Well, Matt can probably talk about anything. Matt is very good when it comes to random information and statistics.
Mm-hmm.
You could ask him what he was doing on his 7th birthday. He could tell you what he was wearing. He could tell you what every guest was wearing. He could tell you what the walls looked like.
Now you're just being a little bit facetious here.
We talked about it yesterday.
That was my 6th birthday and I was at home.
Oh, sorry. Your 6th birthday as opposed to the 7th. Okay.
Well, my 7th birthday was at McDonald's.
See, this is what I mean.
And there was a thunderstorm, too.
Yeah, see, that's kind of random.
Thunderstorms scare me.
And my 7th birthday was way before you two were even born, so that's like...
Yeah, we didn't even go through our ages. So, ladies first.
I'm 20. I'm the baby of the group.
I'm much older than 20. I'm actually 32.
And I'm 21.
So that makes me the old guy.
We're kind of all connected. Well, I know Matt through work. I know Corinne through school. And they just met each other. So...
Yes.
I mean...
It just goes to show you that people who meet each other can sometimes get along just great.
Actually, really great.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say really great. You two have gotten in a few fist fights, but...
Oh, yeah. There was that one.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
There was that one time at band camp.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I took her trombone and I poked her eye out with it.
Yeah.
And then she clubbed me over the head with a drumstick.
Yeah.
And then I came into the picture and stuffed Corinne in a tuba.
It never worked quite right since.
No.
Neither did Corinne.
Oh. Yes, low.
All good, all good.
Okay. So we're going to move on to our first topic of discussion today. And it's going to be public speaking.
Yes.
Does anybody actually have any experience public speaking?
I guess I could say I do, both good and bad.
Okay.
Which would you like to hear first?
We'll start with the bad.
Of course, let's all start with the bad. All right. I have a really hard time public speaking. I know it doesn't really seem like it just by what I'm saying right here, but I used to hate it very much, and I think a lot of it came from the fact that this is going back probably about 20 years, so back when you guys were toddlers, I guess. I'm just setting up the story here. I mean, I am the old guy of the group.
I was pretty toddler-like at that time.
Probably.
I remember back to my days, cruising there with the babes.
Uh-huh.
In my little Fisher-Price yellow and red car that you could pedal.
You were probably like Tommy Pickles from Rugrats.
Yeah, I was wearing a diaper too. Yeah, I'm not going to deny it.
Anyway, we're going to go back to my story.
Yes.
My 7th grade teacher assigned all of us in the class, assignment. We had to write a 3-minute speech on whatever we wanted. And a lot of the kids chose, pop culture topics that were relevant for that time period. Like, they were choosing New Kids on the Block, or they were choosing Saved by the Bell, or anything like that. If anybody's ever heard of those shows, you probably know if you're my age. But anyway, I decided to try and do a serious topic. The topic I chose was bullying, and I bombed. I bombed in such a way that my points were not getting across. I was making really not funny jokes, and ironically enough, the people who were bullying me the most at that time, they did respond with, like, clapping, but it wasn't like genuine clapping. It was more like the sarcastic clapping with, like, the hoot and hollers, and you know exactly what I mean, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So after that disastrous event, I told myself I would never public speak again. I guess that doesn't really make any sense. But since I started doing my video blog entries in my blog, I wanted to try and change that. I wanted to try and become a better public speaker, and in a way I seem to be improving, but I still definitely need a lot of work. I need to work on my charisma, sort of. And that's my story.
You said you had a good one.
I did. That was what I said at the end.
Oh, show us how much I was listening.
Wow.
Oh, I just talk a lot, so.
What about you, Carine?
I don't know. I get in front of people and I become like a human vibrator. It's not even funny. I just shake. But then if you picture everybody in their underwear, seriously, it helps. For some strange reason, it helps.
You're so cliche.
But it makes everybody, like, it makes me feel less vulnerable because they're all the ones in their underwears. And I kind of feel powerful. Like, I don't know, weird.
Yeah, there are some people that I don't really want to see in their underwear, but...
Well, then you just tune them out.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Matt in his underwear, man? You don't want to see that.
When have you ever seen that?
I don't, but I'm currently imagining it, and I'm probably gonna go, like, wash my brain.
Matt, he has cameras in your room, just saying. No, I'm joking.
Okay.
He's looking around.
Actually, I am.
My only really stories about, or experiences with public speaking are basically in school. You know, we have to do these group projects, we have to present in front of the class, it's gonna be fun, the teacher says. Mm-hmm. And then we bomb, and then we feel bad about ourselves, I go red in the face, I get embarrassed. You know, it really is not the most fun experience. And it's definitely not as fun as the teacher makes it out to be.
No.
You know, on a related note, too, I was one who used to always despise group projects because I was always the one that would always do most of the work in the group projects, and yet the other people who contributed nothing got to share my A.
Matt, let me tell you, it doesn't change.
I know.
That's happening currently in mine and Carine's program.
Yep.
So, yeah.
It's frustrating.
Oh, it really is, because I'm usually the one doing the most of the work anyway. I'm not sure about Carine, but...
I do a lot of work, too.
Good job, Carine.
I give you both A's.
Well, thank you.
And you keep them, and you make them yours.
That A is now mine. Josh, you can't have it.
I've got enough of them, Carine. It's okay.
Today's episode of this episode is brought to you by the
Today's episode
A.
of this episode.
Yes.
Yay.
This episode of this episode.
Anyways, what's the big deal about public speaking anyway? Like, why do people constantly associate public speaking with something negative?
Because you're basically putting yourself out there and you're trying to convince other people that you're trying to tell them a story, or you're trying to convince them of a point, and it can be nerve-wracking, especially if somebody looks at you the wrong way while you're trying to make this speech. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but I find it quite daunting.
I agree.
I agree.
What now?
Yeah, it's just, you know, you're putting yourself out there, you don't really... You're vulnerable. Like, this is the only point in our school life, for the most part anyway, that we actually just put our full selves out there in front of the class. You know, we're the center of attention when we don't want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's embarrassing. You know, you have all these times when people laugh at you or do other stuff like that. As Matt,
pretend you know what you're talking about, too.
Yeah, and especially if you're not confident in the topic, that's when things go downhill. That's when the plane crashes.
Yeah. Like if I was to do like a speech on shoelaces, I mean, what?
Why would you be doing a speech on shoelaces?
Well, it's possible, but I mean, like they could you tie them.
Yep.
They have like little ends at the end of them that prevent them from slipping out of the shoe.
Do you know what the name of those little ends are?
I used to know.
I used to too.
They're like aglets or something.
Yes.
Like that. Yeah.
That's what they are.
Yeah.
See? Random things coming out of Matthew's mouth.
Those either that are ocelots, but those are cats, and I don't think those are...
Those are jungle cats.
Yeah, jungle cats, yeah.
I want one.
Carine, you just keep playing Minecraft and you can get one.
Oh, okay.
You can win ocelots in Minecraft?
Probably.
Oh.
The computer version,
anyway. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I love video games.
So do I.
So another kind of thing surrounding public speaking is the idea of stage fright. And I'm pretty sure that we all have it to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also a new kind of topic coming up that's becoming more prominent in today's youth anyway, is social anxiety. Now, I would argue that it would go from social anxiety, or on a spectrum from stage fright to social anxiety. Where social anxiety is the fact that you can barely speak in public if you can speak at all. And that's even like with a few friends like I'm doing right now. You know what I mean? And then you have the stage fright where you can do it, but you really would prefer not to.
Mm-hmm.
So, has anybody had any experiences with either of the two? Like freezing up completely or doing it but really just not wanting to?
I've dealt with social anxiety issues in the past before, particularly around high school, but it really had nothing to do with speeches or anything like that. It had to do with trying to maneuver yourself in an environment that wasn't exactly the most friendliest.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't go into it too much detail because I've used up all our topics on the first day, but I was picked on in school very, very badly, and being picked on in school kind of caused me to shut everybody out. And I went for the longest time just hiding away from people. And I mean, if that's not social anxiety, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, when it comes down to stage fright, where you're actually trying to be, if you're trying to perform like a play or something like that, or trying to do role-playing exercises, I was okay with that because I was pretending to be somebody else. I was pretending to be somebody that was not me. So, funnily enough,
Is funnily a word?
If I wasn't playing myself. I mean, if that makes any sense at all.
It does. It does, for sure. I have one question, though.
Yes?
Is funnily a word? Because you've said it like 3 or 4 times.
I don't know if it is, but for the sake of argument, we'll just say yes.
We're going to make it a word if it's not.
Sure.
Put it in your dictionary.
Carine, you're the only one with your personal dictionary.
Yes, because making words is fun. Okay?
I used to have a Charlie Brown encyclopedia and dictionary.
Kind of, yes. Only today's world would not use an encyclopedia.
No.
We'd have a web page.
Yes, we would. Wikipedia.
That could be another topic, actually, if the viewers want it, is a talk on the changing of technology, because we have, 2 or 3 different generations in here, right? Mm-hmm. Because Carine obviously grew up from a different background than me, even though we're pretty much the same age. Mm-hmm. And then Matt, of course, was in a different generation altogether. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you guys, the viewers, want that, we can definitely make that happen in a few weeks.
Absolutely.
Don't forget to put your comments down below.
Yeah, let us know everything you want us to talk about. Provided it's PG rated, of course.
Yes, we're not going to talk about... Never mind. We're not going to do that.
We're not going to talk about Nevermind. So no Nirvana for you.
Well, we could talk about Nirvana, but not about the album cover. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. Mm-hmm. So what can we do to help ourselves overcome stage fright? Corinne already touched on one little cliche topic, which
It's
was...
not cliche, it works.
Maybe it works for you, but it's the most overused, and over-stigmatized strategy known to man.
Well, what if we picture them as space zombies?
Oh my god, that'd be awesome.
That's a little more modern. I like that.
Yeah. Space zombies are cool.
What about if we picture them as cats? All different colors.
It could work unless you have an allergy to cats. Then you'd be like, achoo.
Corinne, just because you want a whole cat army does not mean that you have to make the audience your army.
Well, I could try.
You could try, and you could... Never mind.
I
Anyways.
could succeed.
What?
I could succeed.
Maybe. Anyways, what other strategies do you guys have?
Well, somebody told me once that if you practice in front of a mirror it would work. I mean, in some ways it might seem kind of silly because you're essentially just talking to yourself, but when you're looking at somebody in a mirror, it feels like you're kind of in an interview situation, so...
Yeah. To be honest, I talk to myself a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Because I never give myself answers, but I always ask questions.
I give myself answers.
Yeah, some people actually look at me funny at work because I do tend to talk to myself while I'm doing tasks. But people usually don't hear me because I whisper it or talk softly. But it helps me get the task done a lot quicker.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird, I know that, but...
It's okay, Matt.
We're here for
We
you.
all like weird.
Weird is good.
Ow.
I don't think there's actually anybody in the world that isn't weird. Because weird is just another word for unique, I find. I find that they're very interchangeable.
That's very true.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do something that isn't, considered the social norm or society standards, then you're called weird. Right?
That's
But
sadly
really, you're just doing what you want to do, and that's kind of what we try to focus on here at Motive2Change. We just kind of want you to be you. We do the
confident.
Yeah, be confident in what you do. The decisions you make are for you, right? You wouldn't choose to do something if it didn't benefit you or make you happy in some way. So
there's nothing wrong with that either. I mean, years and years ago, a wise man by the name of Mr. Rogers, who in his neighborhood would walk by, he would say, the only person that you should focus on is yourself and how much people like you for being you.
Matt, you need to come up with modern people.
Are you saying Mr. Rogers isn't modern?
I'm saying that 12 and 13-year-olds will not know who Mr. Rogers is.
I challenge you to that.
They might actually.
Okay. I may eat those words,
still
but...
airs on PBS and some stations, not ours, but some stations.
Okay.
Okay, fine. And Dora the Explorer.
No.
She has a backpack.
No. Okay. Okay, we get it. Swiper, no swiping! Anyways. We're moving on to Corinne with something that we call the quote of the day. Kind of to get us inspired to go on about our day.
Yay. Okay, so the quote I have is, in order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear of failure. The great Bill Crosby said that. Just saying.
Isn't it Bill Cosby?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, okay. But the quote was good.
Yeah, it could be Bill. I don't know. Yeah.
Why did you choose that quote?
Because I just feel like if you go, for public speaking, if you go in front of people and you're afraid, well, you're going to look afraid, and then you're going to be aware that you're afraid. And for me, that's when I start messing up.
Yeah.
But if you're not afraid and you go up there all confident, everybody sees you as confident, and I don't know, it just kind of, you just succeed. You could just talk and not have to worry about messing up. If that makes sense.
I think it does make sense. I mean, just analyzing the quote, I think he's right. I mean, a lot of people, I know myself included, I'm guilty of this. They're afraid to try things because they're afraid of failing at it, when in all actuality, they should be rewiring their brain to think about how much fun it'll be to succeed.
I would agree with that.
And I'm guilty of this myself, you know, like.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're going to move on to another segment of our show called Fun Fact with Matthew Turcotte.
Yes. Well, I will say that this fun fact is unfortunately not related to the topic at hand, but it is still quite amusing. And earlier I said that this episode was brought to you by the letter A. Well, it also happens to be brought by the number 13, because the number 13 is very much linked to a recent movie that was brought out on Blu-ray and DVD. And I'm sure everybody's heard of the movie Frozen. It was the Disney movie that overtook the world. It sold like 4 million copies its first week. Well, I bet you didn't know that the number 13 has a very strong link to that movie.
Really?
Yeah. There's lots of examples of it, too. Well, for starters, the movie was released in 2013.
Don't reveal any spoilers or anything.
I won't. I'm not going to reveal the spoilers. There's a character named Prince Hans in the movie. He's the 13th of 13 brothers.
Oh.
Queen Elsa, she's the blonde princess. She's actually the 13th Disney princess.
Well, that's weird.
And as of right now, the movie is the 13th highest grossing motion picture of all time.
Wow.
That's
a lot of 13s.
And it's just it's a good movie in general.
Oh, I liked it.
I've watched it probably 13 times too.
Yeah, me too, because we have it playing at work all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like...
I've watched it indirectly about 13 times.
Yeah.
I've never actually seen the whole thing.
It's a pretty good movie. I mean, again, I won't do any spoiler alerts because I never do spoiler alerts on my blog anyway, but it's very much... It's very Disney, but it has a very unconventional twist to how Disney movies are normally portrayed, which I liked.
Yeah.
I'm sure Corey
it's
knows
just
what I'm
hilarious.
talking about.
Yeah.
The only character that I actually know from that movie is Olaf, and he's the snowman.
Oh god.
Who wants to experience summer, not realizing that if he does, well, we'll go into that.
Someone really should have told him.
Yeah. But he likes warm hugs.
Oh yes, that's true.
So is there anything else on the topic of public speaking that you guys either want us to cover or that you two want to share right now?
This is pretty ironic. You're asking us a question on public speaking and none of us want to speak.
Yeah.
Do you have anything, Josh?
Yeah.
Well, kind of my strategy that I do is, and this is probably common to a lot of the viewers as well, and I know Carine does it too. What we do is we type it out all on a piece of paper or cue cards or whatever. We stick the cue cards right in front of our face, and then we read the cue cards. Teachers generally don't like that, but it's a great strategy for us to kind of separate ourselves from the actual presentation. We don't really feel that we're presenting to the class. We feel that we're just reading a cue card or a piece of paper. And that's what I do most often anyway.
Yeah,
and I find that's
like reading a teleprompter at like some sort of award show.
Exactly. And that is kind of my strategy, but a lot of the teachers do frown upon it, and I'm not sure where you guys are from, but
I think it could have... I can see both sides to it. And I mean, just going along with the idea, just the one I talked about, the teleprompter of the awards, I mean, yes, the teleprompter is a great thing to have, and cue cards are a good thing to have, but if you have a situation where the cue cards accidentally get mixed up, or if the teleprompter starts to malfunction, then you sometimes have to like think on your feet and just go ahead with what you want to say without that aid. And that can be a little bit frustrating.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could be like John Travolta and just mispronounce names altogether.
Does he do that?
Yeah, at the Academy Awards, and this is kind of linked to the Frozen tidbit that I have. You know that Idina Menzel plays the voice of Elsa?
Yes.
Well, she was going to sing the song Let It Go from Frozen, and John Travolta was to, he was supposed to introduce her, but instead of introducing her as Idina Menzel, he pronounced it Adele Dazeem.
Oh.
And the teleprompter he blamed the teleprompter for that, but how do you mess something up like that?
Yeah.
Well, there is a lot of pressure on those guys.
True enough.
Like, think about how many people are watching those.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're just talking about public speaking on a small scale, like maybe to 30 people maximum.
Exactly.
But, yeah, like they would have a lot more pressure, I find. But yeah, that goes to show you that everybody in the world probably has to deal with public speaking.
Exactly. And some people
that have school
excel at it, and others pronounce people's names wrong, which is okay.
Yeah. He definitely won't do it again.
Exactly.
That's for sure.
That would be like me calling you Fosh Jeltmate.
That's really weird.
I'm going to start calling you Fosh now.
Fosh.
That's okay. If you said your other name, I would butcher that.
No,
But
it's okay. It's okay.
Anyways, that's our show for today.
Mm-hmm.
We are glad that you tuned in. Hopefully you stayed for the whole time. If not, that's fine too. And feel free to give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment. Yeah, we'll be back. We're hoping to do these either every week or every 2 weeks. Depending on how many viewers we get, how many topics we can find, stuff like that. And it's also very hard to fit into our lives anyway. We have like a 2-hour window right now where we're recording this. So.
Yeah, we all have busy lives, so it's basically whenever we get a chance to do this together, then that's exactly.
Well, Matt.
Maybe some instances in which one of us may not be available, and you just might have the two of us.
Yeah. Well, Matt works full-time at the local retail store. And I work part-time, and both Carine and I have placement full-time, which is 24 hours a week, and we have school, which lasts about 12 to 13 hours a week, and then we have homework on top of that. So, I mean, it's pretty crazy, but we'll find the time to at least do it every 2 weeks.
For sure.
So, yeah. So that's our show. Thank you for tuning in.
Before we end it, shouldn't we just kind of revise things that the viewers should, take from this video?
We could if you'd like to, Carine.
Well, I was going to throw that at you, but yeah.
Nope, you go for it.
Well, you came up with the idea, so why don't you start?
Oh, Lordy, okay.
We learned that it's okay to picture people in their underwear.
Oh, yeah.
As long as you don't tell them about it.
It's okay to mispronounce somebody's name at the Oscars. We learned that we all like the movie Frozen.
Everyone, yep. And we learned that we have to be confident at all times.
There you go.
Yeah, how did that work out, guys?
Very good, actually.
Okay.
I liked it.
Alright, so that's our show for today. Thank you for tuning in. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. And we'll be back within a 2-week span. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Take care, all.